Hi, everyone. This is Typhoon from Magnet Forensics. I'm the Director of Product Management focused in on the product Ignite. Today, I'm going to walk through a new feature that allows you to scan endpoints with YARA rules. So you can see here, I'm logged into Ignite. I can click here to view my cases. Now, first, what I'll show is creating a new case that allows you to load in YARA rules to be scanned on endpoints, and then I'll show you a case I've already completed that has some YARA rule hits. You can see here when I go to create a new case, name my case, and you can see here in the agent settings, there's a bunch of options. You can choose to collect memory and analyze the RAM dump, and then here's the new section here for YARA rules. We've got two different sets here. We've got a checkbox here that allows you to run some preloaded YARA rules that we've packaged into the product. Things like the Emotet malware scanner are included in that. And then there's custom YARA rules. So you can see here I've loaded in a bunch of YARA rules in the past, and I can choose to run these as part of my agent on the endpoint. What I'll do, so you can choose these individually or you can select all. And the first time you go into this list will actually be empty. So what you can do to load in your own is click upload rule, and it's pretty simple. You can click here, select some files, and then upload them. Once you upload them, they'll end up in this list. For the purpose of this demo, again, you can select as many of these as you want, but what we've done, instead of running, malware on an endpoint to detect with existing YARA rules, we've created a YARA rule called email with image. Now, it's not necessarily a super useful YARA rule, but what it will do is it'll mimic having hits on the endpoint associated with emails that contain attachments. So this YARA rule, again, wouldn't really use it in the wild, but for demo purposes, what it will do is it will flag any, EML file that we find that contains picture attachments. So I can check that off. Now that will run. And again, as usual with Ignite, you can choose to scan artifacts in addition to your YARA rule. So it'll collect and process and display those for you. Then you can also add keywords to your case that will collect and display any files that match on these keywords in the file name. So then from there, you can create a new case. As I mentioned, I'll just show you an existing one I've already created in a second. But if I create this, you'll see my case gets created. I can click here to download the agent. Now, when you go and deploy that agent to whatever number of endpoints you want to scan on, it will run those YARA rules, it'll collect those artifacts, and then you'll see the results when it's complete. So just jumping back to my cases screen, you'll see I've got completed case here. You can see I ran the case. I can review the results. Now I ran this, a week ago, and you'll see I've got a bunch of results on the left-hand side here. All the files, a listing of all the files that are on the system. And then again, in the indicators of compromise section, you can see YARA rules. And again, this is matching on that email with pictures YARA rule that we created for the demo purpose here. And you'll see all of the files that matched on that YARA rule. And what we do also for those files is tell you which conditions within the YARA rule were matched on. So you can see there's actually 3 conditions in that YARA rule that I loaded, and we'll tell you why we matched on that file. You can see the rules here and the conditions. So when you see there's a match, you can understand why. And that, again, that's a really quick demo, but shows you how you can leverage YARA rules in your triage of endpoints as you're doing incident response, and can be very useful when you're deploying your agent to a bunch of endpoints that you suspect may be compromised. You can load in those YARA rules and really understand which one of those endpoints have indicators of compromise on them and where you need to go deeper. And that's kind of the workflow we're seeing. Triage scanning a bunch of endpoints, identifying the highest risk ones, and doing a deeper dive forensic analysis of those machines to understand, the root cause of what went on there. Thanks again for watching this video. Always feel free to reach out with any questions, and I encourage you to give the YARA rule scanning a try in Ignite. Thanks.